Ladies, if you're over 50 and still applying eyeliner the way you did in your 20s, you could be adding years to your appearance without even realizing it. Right now, I'm going to show you the most common eyeliner mistake that's making your eyes look smaller, your lids heavier, and your entire face older than it needs to be. And more importantly, I'm going to teach you exactly how to fix it. Welcome to EverWise Older Women, where we celebrate timeless beauty and help you look and feel your absolute best at every stage of life. I'm here to share something that's going to transform the way you think about eyeliner forever. You see, there's this one mistake that I see almost every woman over 50 making, and it's not your fault because nobody ever taught us how our makeup needs to change as we mature. By the time we finish today, you're going to understand exactly why that thick black line you've been drawing is working against you, and you'll have a complete step-by-step system for applying eyeliner that lifts your eyes, opens them up, and takes years off your appearance. We're going to cover the 3 different techniques that work best for mature eyes. I'll show you the exact products that won't smudge or fade throughout the day, and you'll learn my secret method for dealing with hooded lids and fine lines that no makeup artist ever talks about. But here's what I need you to do right now, before we dive in. If you're serious about looking your best and you want more tips like this delivered straight to your feed, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. The EverWise Older Women community is growing every single day with women just like you who refuse to become invisible as they age. We're here to support each other, share our discoveries, and prove that our best years are still ahead of us. Now let's talk about this mistake that's been sabotaging your look for years. Picture this. You stand in front of your mirror, you pick up that trusty black eyeliner pencil, and you draw a line across your upper lid, maybe extending it slightly at the outer corner. Sound familiar? You might even add a line to your lower lid because that's what you've always done. The problem is, this technique that worked beautifully when you were younger is now dragging your entire eye area down and creating shadows where you don't want them. The biggest culprit is that harsh black line that sits right on your lash line. As our skin matures, it becomes thinner and more delicate. Our eyelids can become slightly hooded, and we develop fine lines and texture changes. When you apply a stark black line in this area, it emphasizes every single imperfection and creates a harsh contrast that draws attention to aging rather than enhancing your natural beauty. Think about it this way. When you were younger, your eyelids were smooth and tight. A black line could define your eyes without competing with anything else. But now that same line is fighting against drooping lids, maybe some puffiness, definitely some fine lines, and it's a battle that the harsh liner is going to win every time, making everything else look worse by comparison. The second part of this mistake is the placement. Most women continue to line their eyes the exact same way they did decades ago, following the natural shape of their eye. But here's the thing, the natural shape of our eyes changes over time. If you're still following that same old pattern, you're actually emphasizing the drooping and the changes rather than correcting for them. And then there's the lower lash line situation. I cannot tell you how many gorgeous women I see who are still lining their entire lower lash line with black liner. This is aging you more than almost anything else you could do to your eyes. It makes your eyes look smaller. It emphasizes any bags or dark circles you might have, and it creates this closed-off appearance that's the opposite of the bright, open look we're going for. So, what's the solution? How do we fix this mistake that's been aging us without our knowledge? It starts with completely rethinking our approach to eyeliner. Instead of using it to outline and define, we're going to use it to lift, soften, and brighten. Instead of harsh black lines, we're going to use colors and techniques that work with our mature features rather than against them. The first thing you need to do is put down that black eyeliner. I know, you've been using black forever and it feels wrong to change, but trust me on this one. Black is too harsh for most women over 50. Instead, we're going to reach for brown, charcoal, or even a deep plum or navy depending on your coloring. These colors still define your eyes, but they do it in a way that's softer and more forgiving. Now, instead of drawing a line directly on your lash line, we're going to do something completely different. We're going to start by using a small, flat brush to press our liner into the spaces between your upper lashes. This is called tightlining, and it's a game changer for mature eyes. What this does is define your lash line and make your lashes look thicker without creating any harsh lines at all. Your eyes will look more defined, but in the most natural way possible. For the upper lid, instead of drawing a continuous line across the entire eye, we're going to focus on the outer third only. Starting from about the middle of your eye, we're going to create a very thin line that gradually gets slightly thicker as it moves toward the outer corner. But here's the crucial part. Instead of following the downward curve of your eye, we're going to lift that line slightly upward. This creates the illusion that your entire eye is lifted. The key is in the blending. After you've applied your liner, you're going to take a small, firm brush and gently smudge that line upward and outward. This softens any harsh edges and creates a subtle smoky effect that's incredibly flattering on mature eyes. The goal is to create depth and dimension without any obvious lines. Now, what about the lower lash line? This is where most women go completely wrong. Instead of lining the entire lower lash line, we're going to do something much more strategic. Take that same brown or soft charcoal liner and very lightly line just the outer third of your lower lash line. Then, and this is important, smudge it immediately with a brush or even your finger. This creates a subtle shadow that adds depth without closing off your eye. For the inner 2/3 of your lower lash line, we're going to do something that might seem counterintuitive. We're going to use a nude or light pink liner on the waterline. This is the secret that makeup artists have been using for years to make eyes look bigger and brighter. When you line your waterline with a light color instead of a dark one, it creates the illusion that the whites of your eyes are larger, which makes you look more awake and youthful. But what if you have hooded eyes? This is a concern for so many women, and the traditional eyeliner techniques simply don't work when you have limited lid space. If your eyes are hooded, you're going to modify this technique slightly. Instead of trying to create a line on your mobile lid, which might disappear when your eyes are open anyway, you're going to focus on the area just above your lash line and below the hood. Use your brown liner to create a very thin line that follows the shape of your eye when it's open, not when it's closed. This might mean that when your eyes are closed, the line looks uneven or strange, but when your eyes are open, it will look perfect. The key is to work with your eyes open, looking straight ahead into the mirror, so you can see exactly where the liner needs to go to be visible and flattering. If you wear glasses, there are special considerations for your eyeliner application. Glasses can magnify your eye makeup, which means any mistakes become more obvious. They can also cast shadows on your eyes, which means you might need a little bit more definition than someone who doesn't wear glasses. The trick is to make your liner slightly more prominent than you might otherwise, but still keep it soft and blended. Focus on that lifting technique we talked about, because glasses can sometimes make your eyes look droopy, and the upward lift of your liner will counteract that effect. Let's talk about the tools that make all the difference. A lot of women are still using the same pencil liners they've used for years, but these might not be the best choice for mature eyes anymore. Pencil liners can tug on delicate skin, they can be difficult to blend, and they often fade or smudge throughout the day. Instead, consider switching to a gel liner with a brush, or even a powder liner that you apply with a damp brush. Gel liners are fantastic because they glide on smoothly without pulling on your skin. They're easy to blend while they're still wet, and once they set, they stay put all day. Powder liners are wonderful because they're the most forgiving option. If you make a mistake, you can easily blend it out or remove it and start over. They also create the most natural, soft effect, which is exactly what we want for mature eyes. The brush you use is just as important as the liner itself. You want a small, flat brush for pressing liner into your lash line, a small, angled brush for creating precise lines, and a small, fluffy brush for blending. Don't try to do everything with the applicator that comes with your liner. Investing in a few good brushes will make an enormous difference in the final result. Now, let's talk about some advanced techniques that can take your eyeliner game to the next level. One of my favorite tricks for women with fine lines around their eyes is to use a primer specifically designed for the eye area before applying any makeup. This creates a smooth base that helps your liner go on more evenly and prevents it from settling into fine lines throughout the day. Another professional technique is called the puppy dog eye, and it's incredibly flattering for mature women. Instead of creating a sharp wing that points upward, you're going to create a softer extension that follows the angle of your lower lash line upward. This creates a lifted effect that's subtle and natural looking, rather than obvious and dramatic. Color choice is something we should talk about in more detail. While I mentioned that brown is generally more flattering than black, the specific shade of brown you choose should complement your skin tone and hair color. If you have cool undertones in your skin, look for a brown with ash or gray undertones. If you have warm undertones, choose a brown with red or golden undertones. Women with gray or silver hair often look stunning in charcoal or soft black, which provides definition without being too harsh. Don't be afraid to experiment with other colors either. Deep plum can be gorgeous on women with blue or green eyes. Navy blue is surprisingly flattering on almost everyone and provides a subtle pop of color that's still sophisticated. Dark green can bring out hazel eyes beautifully. The key is to choose colors that are deep enough to provide definition but soft enough to be flattering. Let's address some common concerns that I hear from women all the time. Many of you worry that you can't apply eyeliner evenly because your hands shake a little, or because your vision isn't what it used to be. First of all, you're not alone in this. There are several strategies that can help. Try bracing your elbow on your vanity or bathroom counter to steady your hand. Use a magnifying mirror if you need to see more clearly. And remember, imperfection is actually better than perfection when it comes to mature eye makeup. A perfectly straight, even line can look harsh and unnatural. A slightly imperfect smudged line looks soft and flattering. If you're still struggling with application, consider using individual dots of liner along your lash line and then connecting them with a brush. This gives you more control and makes it easier to create a smooth line. You can also apply your liner in several thin layers rather than trying to get the perfect line in one stroke. Another concern I hear frequently is about makeup staying power. As our skin changes, makeup can behave differently than it used to. If your eyeliner is smudging or fading throughout the day, make sure you're using a good eye primer. Set your liner with a matching eyeshadow color pressed over it with a brush. This will help lock it in place and prevent smudging. For women who experience watery eyes, which becomes more common as we age, waterproof formulas might seem like the obvious solution. However, waterproof makeup can be harsh to remove and might require rubbing that's not good for delicate eye area skin. Instead, try a long-wearing formula that's designed to resist water and oils without being completely waterproof. Now let's talk about creating different looks for different occasions. The technique I've taught you so far is perfect for everyday wear. But what about when you want something a little more dramatic for evening or special occasions? The key is to build upon the same basic technique rather than completely changing your approach. For a more dramatic look, you can make your liner slightly thicker and extend the outer corner a bit more. You can also add a second color. Try lining your upper lashes with your usual brown or charcoal, but then add a thin line of a complementary color like deep plum or bronze just above it. This adds interest and dimension without being overwhelming. Another way to amp up your look for evening is to line your entire upper lash line instead of just the outer third, but keep the same soft blended approach. You can also add a tiny bit of shimmer to the inner corners of your eyes, which will make them look brighter and more awake under artificial lighting. If you're going to a daytime event and want something a little more polished than your everyday look, try using the same technique but with a slightly deeper color, or add a thin line of liner to your lower lash line, but make sure to blend it well and balance it with that nude liner on your waterline. Let's also discuss how to remove your eyeliner properly, because this is just as important as how you apply it. The skin around your eyes is the most delicate on your face, and harsh rubbing can cause damage and accelerate aging. Use a gentle oil-based makeup remover specifically designed for eyes. Apply it to a cotton pad and hold it against your closed eye for a few seconds to let the product dissolve the makeup, then gently wipe away without rubbing. If you're using waterproof or long-wearing formulas, you might need to hold the cotton pad in place a little longer or use a specialized remover designed for stubborn makeup. Never rub or tug at the skin around your eyes, and always be patient with the removal process. I want to take a moment to address the psychological aspect of this change. I know that switching up a makeup routine you've had for decades can feel scary and uncomfortable. You might feel like you don't look like yourself, or worry that people will notice that you've changed something. This is completely normal, and I want you to know that change is good. The goal isn't to look like someone else, it's to look like the best version of yourself. Give yourself time to adjust to the new technique. Practice when you don't have anywhere to go, so you can experiment without pressure. Take photos of yourself with the new eyeliner technique, so you can see objectively how much more lifted and youthful your eyes look. Sometimes we're so used to seeing ourselves a certain way that we can't see improvements that are obvious to others. Remember that confidence is the most beautiful thing you can wear. When you feel good about how you look, it shows in everything you do. You stand taller, you smile more, you engage more fully with the world around you. This simple change in how you apply your eyeliner can be the catalyst for feeling more confident and beautiful than you have in years. As we wrap up our time together today, I want you to remember the key points that are going to transform your eyeliner game. First, ditch the harsh black liner in favor of softer browns, charcoals, or other flattering colors. Second, focus on lifting rather than outlining by concentrating your liner on the outer third of your upper lid and angling it slightly upward. Third, blend everything for a soft, natural effect that enhances rather than overpowers your natural beauty. Don't forget about tightlining to define your lashes without harsh lines, and use that nude liner on your waterline to make your eyes look bigger and brighter. If you have hooded eyes, work with your eyes open and focus on the areas that will be visible. If you wear glasses, Adjust your technique to work with your frames rather than against them. The transformation you're going to see in your mirror tomorrow morning is going to amaze you. Your eyes will look lifted, brighter and more youthful. You'll wonder why you waited so long to make this change, and you'll never want to go back to your old eyeliner technique. If this video has helped you, I would love for you to share it with other women who might benefit from these tips. Leave me a comment and let me know which part of this technique you're most excited to try. Are you ready to ditch the black liner? Are you nervous about the nude waterline? I read every single comment and I love hearing about your experiences. Make sure you're subscribed to EverWise Older Women because we have so much more coming your way. Next week we're talking about the mascara mistakes that are making your lashes look thin and sparse, and I'm going to share my secret technique for making your lashes look fuller and longer than they have in years. Until then, go practice your new eyeliner technique, and remember that you are beautiful, you are worthy, and your best years are still ahead of you.